Hey guys, Nichols here, and today I'd like to talk about the things I expect to see in future episodes of Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. This video was recorded after episode 2, which in my opinion exposed some important plot points and characters that may significantly drive the story. Please note that these are just my expectations, predictions, and speculations based on information we have right now. This is purely just for discussion purposes. So yeah, feel free to discuss what you think in the comments down below. I could be wrong about something, but I really just want to start a conversation about these things because I find these things interesting. First, let's talk about the Spacian-earthian racism that I think can shape some characters in the future. The topic of racism is not new to Ichiro Okuchi. He tackled this topic in Code Geass, where the Britannians discriminated against the Japanese. And this part of the plot could really drive the story in a very significant way. Like, I can imagine Elnora being able to manipulate Nika or any other of the Earthian students. I mean, so far, we can see Nika as a character who just brushes it off, but like at the same time, you can tell that anger is building up in her. And one day, she might just explode. So yeah, Nika Nanaura is a very interesting character to me. She could be a time bomb character or, well, there are many ways she could possibly use that anger in the future. Let's just keep it at that for now. Next, I want to talk about the potential significance of being illegitimate children in the world of the Ad Stella era. Because if gay marriages are a normal thing in the show, then that should also mean that adoption isn't frowned upon. However, it's still unclear as to how this would affect the passing down of large family assets. I think it would be interesting if the story challenges Shaddiq's inheritance of Grassley, and maybe introduce potential competitors such as possible relatives and siblings of his adoptive father. But then again, I'm probably just saying that because I am so into House of the Dragon right now. Forgive me. In stories like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, where royal houses seek and preserve power, they do so through succession and preservation of the family bloodline. Now, don't get me wrong, I fully understand that corporations and kingdoms do not work the same way, and in real life, adopted children are eligible to inherit property if named heirs by their adoptive parents. But I think it would be interesting for other characters in the show to be against Shaddiq's inheritance as a challenge to his character. It makes me wonder if Shaddiq's character arc will involve dealing with insults that he is not a legitimate successor to Grassley and just a means of giving the company an heir. And it also makes me wonder if we're gonna see a conflict between Ghoul and his half-brother Lauda, because Lauda might actually be an illegitimate child. Next, let's talk about the return of Lady Prospera. Yeah. In episode 2, she made a deal through which she would share Ariel's technology data with other companies. And this is how writer Ichiro Okuchi raises the stakes in terms of technology. For a starter Gundam, Ariel is pretty powerful. I mean, even though there are countermeasures tech in the Ad Stella era, Ariel still beat the crap out of that Delanza. I mean, I'm sure you all saw that. However, there is nothing to fear because Ichiro Okuchi just raised the stakes. It looks like the other companies will be developing stronger mobile suits based on Ariel's technology. And while we're on the topic, I also want to talk about the post-credit scene of episode 2, which exhibited the performance of Darrell Balde, aka Ghoul's new mobile suit. That's actually red this time. Some people are speculating that what Elnora and Vim Jetterk discussed in that room was that she actually knew the secret of Darrell Balde being developed with Gund-arm technology, or something similar to that. However, I personally think that the post-credit scene happened after the episode, and that I think it's possible the deal they made was that Lady Prospera would provide some of the technology's data to Jetterk's company, and this would result to the development of the Darrell Balde. But then again, that's just what I think. There are different arguments, different ways people are seeing this now, so we're gonna have to wait for the next episode to find out what really went down. I also want to talk about permit mining on Mercury. It makes me wonder if the reason Elnora chose Mercury as a planet to live on could be the planet's richness of permit. Also, episode 2 introduced us to minor characters who may drive the plot in the future, and it also shows us more of adults being manipulative and kind of evil. We get introduced to the lady who helped Miorina escape, or rather attempt to escape from Astakasha. And I think we're gonna be seeing more of this character in the future. She doesn't mind being used by Miorine as a tool, but it seems she also considers manipulating Miorine in the future if ever she'd need to. And it's funny because yeah, it seems that the show really wants to establish adults as logical but manipulative people in some form or in some level. Like, it's not just the bad guys. Even the mother of the main character can be seen that way. Even minor characters like this lady can be seen that way, which further backs up my theory that this might eventually become a children versus adults story. And now let's talk about Elan. Aside from being the newest addition to Soletta's growing harem, there's also a lot of mystery surrounding this fellow. Elan is part of Pile Technologies, and if you look at the executives of Pile Technologies, they look rather odd, don't you think? They look like they have the same or similar genetics. They have the same hair, and Elan has the same hair. Could they be clones of each other, or... I mean, you could assume that they all just come from the same family. It's possible. A part of me thinks that Elan could be our Cyber New type character. You know, a test tube baby. Anyway, these are just my predictions and expectations. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope you feel engaged in the conversation somehow. And yeah, let's all keep talking and looking forward to G-Witch. You all have a nice day.